Hello everyone, it's Brett here, Lionheart84, and welcome to what's going to be a little experiment, not very scientific, with two of my avocados to see which one, what appears to suit the plants best. So basically what I'm going to do here, I'm lucky enough to have two grafted Fuertes. Now looking at the plants, these originally came from the palm tree company. This one looks, to be honest, in fairly pristine condition. This one, I'm going to concede, looks not in the best of health. It's got these brown leaves, which are quite often a result of the wrong, might be the wrong alkalinity in the soil mix. It might be that it's run out of nutrients in this pot that it's in. Could be leaf scorch, could be overwatering, could be underwatering. Lots of reasons. Avocados are a mystery to me. So obviously we're not starting out in a completely even keel, because one is not as healthy looking as the other one. But basically what I'm going to do here is try a ready-made mix that my friend Mobius has had huge success with his avocados staying healthy in it, and a mix that I've made up myself from a wide variety of materials, which I'll run through in a minute. It's not quite the same as the mix I used for an avocado in a video the other day, as I've actually sort of now managed to get some Irish Moss Peat, so I've modified it further. So I'm going to just run through basically what I'm going to do. I'm going to repot these. I won't actually film the repotting because there's no need to be doing that. You've seen me enough plants. I'm going to take these avocados out of these awful tall tree pots, which I don't personally like, because it's very hard to judge what the moisture levels of the compost are like, or even what condition the roots are in. And in this country they're not ideal for good drainage, whatever the mix is. So I'm going to put them in probably just standard plastic pots for the time being. I don't think I'm going to use fabric pots on these two avocados, because they do seem to grow okay in plastic ones. So I want to talk about the mixes. This one is a mix that's favoured by, I think, hydroponic growers. It's called Gold Label Special Mix, and I'm not sponsored by them. I'm just trying it out because Mobius has had very good success with it. It says virgin peat substrate. So let me just turn the bag around. Now the only thing I might do with this one, I might decide to add some more grit to it possibly. But if I just have a look at the back and see what the main ingredients are. So it's okay. This is using a Swedish virgin white peat. So it's coarsely cut and mixed with additives such as horticultural grade perlite, brown peat, cocoa coir, Swedish clay, lime trace elements and minerals. I haven't yet opened the bag to see what it's like. It's not overly heavy, but of course it hasn't got water in it yet. Now my own mix, which I'm using, it's quite complex really, in that it's got quite a lot of parts to it. Basically I've put in 1 part of John Innes number 3, which is basically a sort of a loam based sandy clay soil that you buy here for mature plants. Excuse me, frog in my throat. 1 part of Irish Moss Peat. There's 1 part of perlite in there. 1 part of expanded clay particles. 1 part of coarse sand. 1 part of rice hulls, and 1 part of horticultural potting grit. So it should be a very well draining mix that will still hold some moisture. Did I say pumice as well? There's also 1 part of the coarse pumice. Sorry, it's the problem when you're making these videos, you can't, unless you've got a piece of paper in front of you, you can't remember what you've put down. So it's somewhat more complicated than something like a 5-1-1 mix, because it's 1 part of each item, and I've got 6, 7, maybe 8 items in it. So I'm going to try this on one of the plants, and I'm going to try the Gold Label Special Mix on the other one. What I'm probably going to do is, I think that I'm going to have a look at it, but I think that I might add horticultural grit to the Gold Label mix, because I'm not convinced it's in the long term going to be draining quite as well as I want it to for the avocados. But this mix is of a medium weight. You can still see you get these lumps of clay in here. That comes from the John Innes, so obviously I'll try and break this up, sand and clay. I'll try and break that up before the mix goes into the pot, and then once that mixes in with this other stuff, you end up with quite a nice light open thing. The reason I'm using rice hulls is because they're basically they're a hard cellulose and they shouldn't break down, and obviously the peat has long died and broken down. It's not a living organic mix, so there shouldn't be anything really in here that's going to break down and starve the avocado roots of oxygen, but I might be proven to be completely wrong there. But in any case, I'm going to get on with taking these out of the pots and see what they look like and repotting them, and then I'll come back to finish the video off. Now, just to add a little bit more information to the video, the pots I've used are 39cm diameter pots. And the capacities are roughly 14 litres, so about just about 3 imperial gallons, marginally over, which I think is probably 4 US gallons roughly. So they're not big pots, but I want to put these up in stages because I don't want the roots not to be able to fill the pots and then end up with problems with root rot if the soil stagnates. Now, in terms of weight at the moment, obviously my own mix is heavier, but it's not unbearably heavy because of the perlite and the rice hulls and the pumice in it, and even the expanded clay particles. It's not particularly heavy, but of course the sand, the John Innes and the grit adds a lot of weight to it. The roots were probably nowhere near as good on the left hand one, which will explain its sad looking appearance. The right hand one had much better roots on it, so of course that is going to make a difference with how they adjust. And I suspect that because the right hand compost, which is the gold mix, and incidentally I decided not to add any grit to it, I decided to leave it absolutely untouched because the whole point of the experiment is to see if you can buy a bagged soil that will do as well as one you mix up yourself. And I suspect that because it's such a light open peat based mix, that probably the roots will take off and grow much faster on the right hand avocado, quite apart from the fact that it's obviously putting out new growth and looking healthy anyway. I'm just about to give them a good soaking in a minute with Seasol, which is a seaweed mix. I'm going to add that to water and make sure I give them a really good soaking because I don't want them to dehydrate with the roots being damaged. Plus we've had a lot of wind recently, so that's really cooling it's really drying the plants out quickly. But I believe the one on the right will adjust much quicker and probably take off, and the roots will fill the pot quicker. But I also think that one will have to be repotted more often because I think the mix in there will probably gradually break down and end up being a finer particle, which is what causes problems with avocados. Whereas my left hand mix has got it's got virtually zero organic material in it at all. So I'm thinking that mix might, although the roots might take a lot longer to get going, I think in the long run it'll be better aerated and probably won't have to be repotted very often because I don't think the roots will grow through as quickly. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to do an update on this probably after about 2 weeks. I've actually filmed this on the 9th of June. It might not go out for a few more days, but I'll probably be looking at them in a couple of weeks time and see if there's any signs of growth on the sickly looking one and see if they're still looking reasonably healthy. So thanks for watching the video. I hope this is going to prove of some use to us in the future, depending on what happens with these mixes. I'm going to go and get the water now and give them a good drenching, and I'll put them back somewhere where they're slightly sheltered. I don't want to be putting them in full sun, because not that we've got any sun, but I don't want to risk damaging them with full sun. And we'll see what happens over the next few weeks. So thanks for watching that video. This is ever so light. yeah, thanks for watching the video. Please give me a thumbs up. You're welcome to share the video if you think it's going to be of any interest to anybody. Please subscribe to my channel, and if you do want to know how I get on with these and when other videos come out, then obviously you need to remember to click on the bell. I'll see you all in the next video. Brett out for now.